As we all know, Bob McNair, the Houston Texans owner, had some really racist comments about when he was at the owners' meetings and said, in terms of black players and the protests that they have right now in the National Football League, that his quote via ESPN was, "We can't let the inmates run the prison." Well, it is Halloween, ladies and gentlemen, and here's what Jadeveon Clowney wore to his respective Halloween party. Awesome. I mean, this is like serious shade being thrown at a whole new level, because we've seen players try and take away the power that owners have, but they almost always fail, right? This has taken it to a whole new level where, with Colin Kaepernick being blacklisted from the entire NFL, not only has it risen in a new movement, which I'm very proud to be able to witness in history, but we're seeing that a lot of these players are so unafraid of now their respective owners, and I love it.
Yeah,
I love that they're getting more power.
I think part of the reason why, like you said in the past, players may be trying to have some kind of leverage.
Well, they don't want to say much because they, don't want to be Kaepernicked out of their respective leagues.
Because then what happens is there's our society judges them, and you lose that battle because for some reason, well, I know the reasons, but what happens is you get everyone else judging these players against the owner because we worship anyone with money. So like, oh, the owner must be right. He's signing your checks. You do what your boss tells you to do. And it's coupled with this jealousy that many people who watch sports have. Is I can't believe these guys get paid millions upon millions of dollars to play a sport, and they simplify it to that degree.
Right.
So no one likes athletes when it comes to going up against the man with more money because they're jealous of his position. So lately, it's been flipping because we're seeing who these a-holes are, many of these owners are, and the things they say and the things they do and the way they treat people. So the public opinion is swaying a bit.
Right.
And then now there's more, you have a little more leeway to do stuff and get some support behind you in doing it. This wouldn't have flown before.
No, no chance. I mean, the point that I made, and I did this on Facebook, on the main TYT Facebook page, facebook.com/the Young Turks, was we need to appreciate what these respective athletes are doing in their own respective eras, because each and every time this has happened with John Carlos and Tommy Smith at the Olympics, with Muhammad freaking Ali, with Vietnam, with Mahmoud Abdul Rauf and many, many others, society has put them down because they don't understand the protest. All they view it as, oh, look at the flag. Oh, he's disrespecting the military. No, it's not necessarily that. But again, just bringing it back here, I just love that Jadeveon Clowney does not give a fuck.
I mean,
like, he doesn't care. Screw Bob McNair.
The whole team, kneeled during,
except for like 5 players.
Guys.
Yeah. Don't you think it would have shown something if they didn't take the field? Like,
that's what I was thinking. I wasn't expecting it, but I wouldn't have been too surprised if that had happened. But I wonder what level of. I mean, maybe it was discussed, and they were thinking this could cause a bigger problem than what we even want right now.
Right.
Because then you're gonna deal with whatever, they forfeiting the game, or they not showing up. Is this a strike? I don't know. Because then it switches over from gameplay to just like not showing up to work, and then what's the responsibilities? What are the contracts gonna be? What's in people's contracts that tell them they can't do stuff like that?
Right, but then again, a rising tide lifts all ships. So if all the players decided to boycott, you know what would have happened? Bob McNair would have been out of his ownership of the Houston Texans, because they cannot, like, Roger Goodell is the punching bag for everybody when it comes to just respecting the owners. Now the players have hurdled over the shield, not the emblem of the NFL, but they've hurdled over the shield that was Roger Goodell and gotten straight to the nucleus of the owners.
Yeah.
And what they would have done was Jerry probably would have stepped in, even though he's had a really rough time with this as well, putting on a charade for kneeling. It would have come into like, we got to get rid of Bob McNair, we got to make this right. And that would have shown some serious, a power struggle for the owners and serious power to the players. I
hope this sticks, man, because there's things that happen to players in every sport, something controversial, something they said, I mean, from way back. There's one statement, a guy, remember Isaiah Thomas back in, when
New York Knicks Isaiah Thomas, of course, right?
Old school '80s Pistons Isaiah Thomas.
When
he had when
I was thinking about his horrible time as a not an owner, as a GM of the Knicks. Yeah.
No, back when he said something about Larry Bird. He's a white guy. It's why he's getting this kind of attention for being a good player. I think it was during the Eastern Conference Finals, like 1989 or something. Whatever it was. That's stuck. I
keep hearing you say,
I think it's true, right?
No.
Like my dates are
now our stat boy because he wants. He's like, Yep, factually true. Yeah.
So but then they had to call a press conference. He had to come back out and say all this stuff to apologize or clarify. And Bird had to come out and be like, yeah, okay. It was a big deal, and it's one of the reasons people hated Isaiah Thomas for the rest of his career. That stuck with him. Things like I can't remember the owner's name. What's this dude's name again?
Bob McNair.
McNair.
Yeah.
This should stick, but
Agreed.
A lot of times this stuff rolls off because like, oh, who really sees the owner every day? They show him in the press box. He's the Texans owner. It's not like he's Jerry. So they're waiting for it to roll off and just end, and people kind of stop talking about it because there's 15 other things to go through. I hope it doesn't, and maybe things like, again, you got your own players that are out here. Now there's social media, and they can keep the conversation going. I hope they do.